Aku bertahan sepenuh jiwa dan raga, oh tanah airku. Aku berikan semua dan sesungguhnya, oh tanah airku.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, a very good morning, and ohayo gozaimasu. A very warm welcome to Yang Berbahagia Profesor Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Rektor Universiti International Islamic University Malaysia. Yang Berbahagia Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Malik, the founder of Katana Circle Malaysia. Ms. Expo Kurihara, Director, Japan Information Service, Embassy of Japan in Malaysia. Mr. Zulfikar Zainuddin, President, Alumni Lukis Policy Society of LX. Dr. Zuraida Mustafa, Director, Maja Discourse Project. Madam Seiko Shimozono, President, Fukiage Malaysia Friendship Association, Hyoki City, Kagoshima, Japan. Distinguished guests, professors, lecturers, teachers, students, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the organizers, I would like to welcome all of you to the Book Talk Kakehashi Forum Pemikiran Profesor Diraja Ungku Aziz, Internationalize the Thoughts of Ungku Aziz. Sebagai memberkati majlis, marilah kita mulakan dengan bacaan Al-Fatihah. Al-Fatihah. Next, I would like to call upon Dr. Zuraida Mustafa, Director, Maja Discourse Project, to deliver a welcome speech. Dr. Zuraida.
Thank you, Dr. Jamila, our Lady of Ceremony today. Yang Berbahagia Profesor Tan Sri Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Director of International Islamic University Malaysia. Ms. Kurihara Etsuko, Director of Japan Information Service, First Secretary, Embassy of Japan, Kuala Lumpur. Dr. Zulkifli Abdul Malik, Founder, Katana Circle. Mr. Zulfikar Zainuddin, President, Alumni Lukis Policy Society. Madam Shimozono Seiko, President, Fukiage Malaysia Friendship Association. And on this lovely, beautiful Saturday morning, this auspicious event, Forum Pemikiran Profesor Diraja Ungku Aziz, is our very first offline event for this project. Now please allow me to share about Malaysia-Japan Discourse Project, or shortly known as Maja Discourse Project 2018. Historically, the relation between Malaysia and Japan is very unique in its own way, that it began during the World War II and Japan occupation of Tanah Melayu. Though Japan has established the diplomatic relation with Malaysia after the independence of Tanah Melayu, it was not until the Lukis policy launched in 1982 that the relation has become more significant in various areas. When our Prime Minister, Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, for once and again announced to revive the Lukis policy during his visit for Nikkei conference in May this year, USIM took a step ahead to gather related Japanese background organizations to co-organize academic and intellect discourses regarding Malaysia and Japan relation from its history, current and future at the various community level. This project was initiated in August this year when Professor Tan Sri was still with USIM as our chairman of University Board members. So through a project that's scheduled between September to December 2018, we aim to study the history of Japan and Malaysia relation, provide avenues for discourse at various community levels, promote a better understanding of Japanese values into the society, and propose a new dimension to be considered in the Lukis policy. In order to achieve these goals, we organized by Katana Circle today is a part of this first series as well. The second and third series are offline events that is also open for public participation. You can visit our website, majadiscourse.com. Just spell Maja, M-A-J-A, Discourse, D-I-S-C-O-U-R-S-E.com for events, updates, and information. All the events under Maja Discourse 2018 are brought to the community by the Japanese Language and Culture Center, University Science Islam Malaysia, together with Ambang Asuhan Jepun, University of Malaya, Pusat Bahasa Tokyo, Malaysia-Japan Higher Education Program, Majlis, Malaysia Japanese Language Instructors Society, ALAPS, Alumni of Lukis Policy Society, CJ Cakap Jepun, OI, Omoriari Institute, KT, KKM Talk, and today co-organizer KC, Katana Circle. Last but not least, a special collaboration with International Islamic University Malaysia for today's event. On behalf of USIM and our co-organizers, I would like to express our heartiest gratitude to IUM for giving us the platform to conduct this book talk event forum. I hope we will benefit from this forum, and I would like to thank all for the opportunity given and pray that Maja project will succeed to fulfill its aims. I thank you for the time given, and please allow me to greet our Japanese guests in Japanese. タンスリーズールをはじめ、本日のフォーラムにご参加いただき誠にありがとうございます。そしてスピーカーとしてはるばる鹿児島からいらっしゃった下園様にマレーシアへようこそ。今日のプログラムが皆さんにとって意義のあるものになりますように祈ります。以上をもちまして挨拶を終わりにしたいと思います。Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Diraja. Without further ado, I would like to start from Pemikiran Profesor Diraja Ungku Aziz, internationalize the thoughts of Ungku Aziz. Ladies and gentlemen, to start, I now have the pleasure to invite the moderator. Please welcome Mr. Zulfikar Zainuddin. Before I pass the mandate to him, I would like to introduce this young gentleman. Yeah, he looks young, but he is young. Of course. But instead of being young, he has achieved outstanding achievements. Okay, Mr. Zulfikar graduated. Yeah, he has a bachelor in economics from Wakayama University, Japan. He also has attended various programs in Harvard Business School, Harvard Kennedy School of Government, and the London Business School. Mr. Zulfikar is the Managing Director of 12M Ventures Sinjan Berhad, a wholly owned subsidiary of Khazanah Nasional, the strategic investment arm of the Government of Malaysia. He has vast experience in managing large multinational clients as the head of foreign direct investments during his time at the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC. And Mr. Zulfikar has worked with companies that have successfully established operations in Malaysia, including Dell, HP, AIG, Nokia, and many others. This includes an annual investment values of USD $1.5 billion by the regional and global centers established in MSC Malaysia. He was also the Director of Business and Industry Development for Frost & Sullivan in Kuala Lumpur. And he is also the President of Alumni Loop East Policy Society or ALEPS. With that, Mr. Zulfikar, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Jamila. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. Thank you for those kind words. I have the honor of being the youngest Zul amongst the three. We have one Zul in the 40s, one in the 50s, and one in the 60s. So, alhamdulillah, we have three Zuls on the stage. And I have the honor of introducing your three panelists this morning. First, I will introduce Dato' Haji Zulkifli Abdul Malik, who is known as one of the key contributors and writers for the book that you have on your table today, Kakehashi. We will elaborate a bit more in detail the meaning and essence of the book. In introduction, Dato' Zulkifli is the chairman of Pusat Bahasa Fikir. He is. I have 3 pages each, so I have to summarize their profiles. He was in the first batch of students who went to Japan under the academic program of the Loop East Policy under the Public Services Department, JPA. Upon returning, he was the first Malaysian to work in Mizuho Trust Bank. He was also the president of ALEPS, the 4th president of ALEPS. He is now a board member of many Japanese multinationals such as Daifuku, Epson, Kobelco, Kosei, and others. One of the recent achievements that Dato' has achieved is in this year, in 2018, he is the recipient of the Order of the Rising Sun Gold Rays from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Japan. And he is also the author of the popular book Samurai Kampung Medan. So maybe a bit more also about the book. So welcome, the most senior Zul on my left actually needs no introduction. You know, he is also playing host to us this morning. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Tan Sri Zulkifli Abdul Razak is the 6th Rector of International Islamic University in Malaysia, IIUM. He is also the immediate past president of the Paris-based International Association of Universities. As mentioned by Dr. Zoraida, he was the 5th Vice Chancellor and President of University Science Malaysia, USIM, which he held for a long period from the year 2000. Tan Sri Zul is also a very active person through various charity-based organizations such as the National Cancer Council, MACNA, Mercy Malaysia, the Razak School of Government, of course the alma mater of Malay College, Kuala Kangsar, Yayasan Hasanah, and many others. I think today we have a very interesting stories that we can hear from Yang Bahagia Tan Sri, and we look forward to your sharing with us. Welcome, Tan Sri. And last but not least, we have the lovely lady on the left. She is Madam Seiko Shimozono, who has come to join us all the way from Hyoki City, Fukiage in Kagoshima, Japan. She is no stranger to Malaysians. Her first interaction with Malaysians is back in the year 1984. I trust many of you were not even born in 1984. So she is an active NGO and NPO activist in Kagoshima. She is more popularly known to many of us as Okasan. Now to you guys can be Obasan. The mother of the Malaysian students, she has more than 300 Malaysians that she has taken under her care. Through the relationship with Malaysians, she also established the Fukiage Malaysia Friendship Association, FMFA, back in 1998, and she is also the current president of that association. through her contributions to many Malaysians and international students in Kagoshima, she is now appointed as an advisor for international relations at the Kagoshima University and also at the Kagoshima National College of Technology. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Madam Seiko Shimozo. As the title of the forum states, it's internalizing the thoughts of Pak Ungku. It is also to share with us the meaning of Kakehashi, or the bridge. So I look forward to many insightful experiences and sharing from our panelists. There will be a session in the middle of the forum. You will be given about 20-25 minutes to ask questions. So while they are sharing their thoughts for the first 2 questions each, I would like to ask the audience to prepare your questions so that when the time comes, please put up your hand, introduce yourself, and you can ask questions to any of the panelists. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will go to the first question, which I will ask Datuk Zul. Datuk Zul, you are often referring Pak Ungku as your mentor, and of course, one of the most unforgettable things that he has said to you is, kalau tak mampu untuk membalas budi, paling tidak mesti pandai mengenang budi, of which you continue to hold on to, and also which has led to become the inspiration to also to write this book, Kakehashi. Maybe can you share with us, why have these words been so meaningful, and what is the essence that draw your attention to writing the book Kakehashi?
Thank you, Zul. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sorry, Tan Sri, Madam Sumudra, and all audience today. After studying in Japan for 5 years, and then I worked outside the country for almost, altogether I was away for 10 years. Coming back to Malaysia back in 1994, I was elected as the 4th President of Alumni Youth Policy. After elected, I knew that Pak Ungku is our patron, so I need to say hello to him. Of course, I'm prepared to explain to him the direction of our alumni, and so I went to see him, and I see this person differently because I have presented a long plan for the alumni, and he only tell me one thing: kalau tak boleh balas budi, kenang budi. That should be the platform of the alumni, because the government spends so much money to send all of you to Japan, and it's about time for you to give back to the nation in any way. So first and foremost, I love Pak Ungku because the way he think, the way he solve problem indirectly, we call it lateral thinking. Let's say you have one problem, he knows alumni problem is money. In order to get money, what are things you need to do in order to raise money? So the first thing he asked me, Zul, do you have the database of your members? To me at that time, registration means name and address or phone number. That's it. No, you need to have a full database, their strength of each of your alumni members, because this one you can sell. So the way he taught me about how important to have database, and at the same time from that database we can raise money. I don't understand how can we raise money from database. Today maybe the word database or is quite common. At that time, 1990s, database can make money. So we say have the database. So I discussed with JPA, and with the support of KWSP, we managed to compile 1,200 members database where they work, their specialty and so forth. And with database, actually Pak Ungku and me, we went to the Japanese embassy, start selling the database. And from there on, we got the support from the Japanese government. Every year got 60,000 just to run our alumni. At that time, we don't even need to collect membership fee because we have grant from the Japanese government. That's why he looked at different angles to solve certain problem. This is something that I love to, and from there on, I take Mengenang Budi is going to be the slogan or what we should do in order to repay back to our nation. That's one thing. And another thing, when in 1996, when Dr. Mahathir, we celebrated, I think, the new school in Subang Jaya, the new Japanese school in Subang Jaya. And in this speech, Tun Mahathir said we should have a Japanese institution in Malaysia. So after that, the ambassador called me. I'd like to do something to help to establish a university or college here in Malaysia. I'm a banker. I do not know about education. So the only person that I know is two person, which is Professor Ungku Aziz and Cikgu Diraja, late father of Tan Sri. These are my two mentors. To me, these two person are everything. Is my idol actually. I love to sit down with them, listen to them because these are great people. I went to see them, Cikgu Tun suruh buka sekolah. And then I went to see Pak Ungku. And then we started doing the groundwork until in 1997, Tekyo Nihongo Gakuin, or the Institute Bahasa Tekyo, was established. And Pak Ungku and Cikgu Diraja become the stakeholder of the college. Together with me, we started. And these two person to me is so great that they say they don't want the money. Sometimes it's difficult for me to pay them some incentive because they don't want the money. They just give back the money. They just give back the money. Whatever you give, they give it. They say, take this money used to give to the children, give to the students. Let me use as incentive for them to pursue their study in Japan. So actually, these two gentlemen motivated me. And then finally, when one day, that was in year 2017, Pak Ungku said that he wanted to retire. He was already 90 plus at that time. So he was on board for 20 years, and he said he wanted to retire. So we talked to the management. It's not just money given to him, and I discussed with Tan Sri, and we decided that we should write a book about him. At least, because a friend of mine told me that, if you love your mentor, you make yourself successful. Secondly, just share whatever wisdom you learn from them to more other people. In Islam, we talk about memanfaatkan ilmu yang kita pelajari. See? So I think it's about time for us to write. And when writing this book, to me also was a great experience because I can talk to people who has engaged. Who know Pak Ungku very deep beyond my. I just know him because about the alumni and because of the college. When I talk to Tan Sri Zeti about the father. Maybe you can read what she written about, and then talk to Tan Tun Ahmad Sarji, how he worked together with Pak Ungku and learn from him a lot of things. And then Professor Ku Kim, being the staff of Pak Ungku for so many years, also talk about him. I think these are values that Pak Ungku, it's a legacy. He taught us to be a simple man. It's not about monetary. How to give back to the nation. And today I present to you Kakehashi. It's about time for me to share what I've learned from my mentor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dato'. I think it was very inspiring to hear, of a journey of meeting someone so great as Pak Ungku, and you can set him as your mentor, and as the way that you live, the way you want to live. Which brings me nicely to the next question for Tan Sri, where, for those, as mentioned by Dr. Zul, Tan Sri's father, the late Cikgu Razak, is also another prominent figure within the Lubis policy. Not only for him being recognized as one of the survivors of the Hiroshima bombing back in 1945, but also for his contributions to the academic and also the other institutions within our country. Pak Ungku is someone who's well known for establishing key institutions like Tabung Haji, Angkasa, and many others in Malaysia. He will always emphasize you must understand the importance of identifying what is needed and also then develop the institutions as instruments of change. In this book, it also mentions that when we wanted to set up Institute Bahasa Tikio, or now known as Pusat Bahasa Tikio, it was meant as an instrument to mempercepatkan lagi proses peralihan negara, which was mentioned under the Wawasan 2020. And maybe I'd like to ask Tan Sri this morning, in your experience, in your thoughts also, why is it important that Pak Ungku always stress understand and identify what is needed, and then make sure that you develop an institute which, like for example, Pusat Bahasa Tikio, which recently celebrated 20 years of its anniversary. So why is that important?
Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Meeting of peace and good morning. Also, I'd like to thank the organizers for inviting me to be one of the panel. My only credential in any Japanese environment is perhaps my father. I have very little experience of what Japanese is all about and what Japan is all about. My introduction to Japan and Japanese comes from my father at a very early stage. As mentioned, my father was the survivor of the atomic bomb, the only Malaysian to survive. Therefore, I represent as a second generation of the Hibakusha to understand what it's all about. Yeah? Pak Ungku comes into my life when I was a student, when I was in University Science Malaysia. University Science Malaysia is an offshoot of the University of Malaya. The Vice Chancellor then was the Dean of Art, the late Hamzah Sulut. Again, another person that has a lot of relationship with Pak Ungku. And therefore, the University of Science Malaysia then was also known as the University of Penang, or University of Penang. Has a lot of ideas that Pak Ungku brought in. And the first thing that I remember as far as Pak Ungku is concerned, he makes a quote that probably most of us do not know. He says, I will not run a university which is not autonomous. Yeah? And here today we are struggling with this word autonomy. Recently it came back, we don't know in what shape or form. But autonomy is one of the issues that Pak Ungku always stick for and fight for. And therefore, when you talk about things like nation building, how to give back to society, as far as the university is concerned, we have got this role to play in trying to ensure what is it that we want for the nation and also what is it that we want for the society. And it is based on knowledge rather than on politics. University has got a knowledge base that sometimes is crafted in such a way that we can give a lot more meaning to nation building and community building compared to quote-unquote political worldview. Political worldview normally has got this, not to say to give back, but to give back and take back. In other words, I give you, but vote for me. For people in university, we give you and we give you for good. We don't expect any return. And this is one lesson that I not only learned from Pak Ungku, I also learned from my father. My father said, if you want to give, you give them wholeheartedly without any expectation of returns. Mananya, we give it sincerely, we give them honestly, and we give it to them because it is part and parcel of our intellectual role to develop the community and the nation, and that's it. Yeah? And again, he learned this from his experience in Hiroshima. When the bomb was dropped, and he survived, alhamdulillah, I mean miraculously, because there's no trace of radiation on him, despite being just 1.5 kilometers from the epicenter. But then he began to learn, the Japanese promised him, Razak Sensei, the Japanese say, we will build Japan again in less than 20 years. And since in 1945, if you put back 20 years, in 1965, you can already see Japan booming as a nation. And they bloom as a nation because all the Japanese give their heart and soul to build Japan. You know, give their heart and soul to make sure that the dignity of the Japanese that have been invaded by foreign forces is now flourishing worldwide. And that's a kind of value that Pak Ungku and my father always stress on us. That if you want to build something, give it wholeheartedly, give it your best, give it sincerely, so that it will be a natural organic growth rather than a growth that you have got something to track on later on. Yeah? But these are values. Bila kita bercakap tentang budi, which Pak Ungku talks about, yeah, it is one very important value that the Muslim and the Malay community has got but has forgotten. Until and unless we learn what budi is all about, we will not be able to give, and to give sincerely the way these two gentlemen has advocated for us. And therefore, I think these lessons of building bridges, built on this kind of values, so that the bridge becomes a bridge of solidarity, a bridge of friendship, a bridge of sincerity, rather than a bridge to go to the other side and take whatever you need and bring it back to you. It's a different kind of a bridge, a relationship that really sustains goodwill, sustain peaceful living, and sustain harmonious living. And I think this is what perhaps Pak Ungku was trying to tell us, and also to live by it, not just by words, but also by action, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tan Sri Zul. And next, I will ask the question for Madam Shimozono. From your experience with Malaysian students as far back as 1984, you have many achievements. You are known as a cousin to many Malaysians. And I think you, through your experience and your knowledge, you've also been appointed as an advisor to the Foreign Students Department of both Kagoshima University and also Kagoshima National College of Technology. In your own words, what does kakehashi mean, and why is it important for us to have kakehashi?
I will translate the gist of the question. 背景の方は一応省略させていただきたいと思うんですけれども、今の質問は島園さんにとって架け橋とはどういうものでしょうか。お願いします。
皆さんこんにちは。私は日本の鹿児島から来ました下園です。よろしくお願いします。申し訳ないですけど英語もマレー語も何も話せないので鹿児島弁を交えて話させていただきます。すみません。架け橋についてっていうテーマですけど、私は35年ほど前からすいません。すいません。マレーシアの方たちとの交流を続けて35年になります。私の人生の半分以上です。
Okay, can I do it in Malay? Yeah. Okay. Kita akan terjemah satu persatu lah. Kita lihat Madam Shimozono begitu terharu dengan peluang yang diberikan. Saya yakin dalam seperti yang beliau katakan bahawa beliau telah mengabdikan dirinya selama 30 tahun ya dengan pelajar Malaysia yang merupakan 30 tahun itu merupakan separuh daripada usia beliau dan beliau telah bersama-sama dengan student Malaysia. Dan sebab kata kakehashi tadi ya, kakehashi adalah bridge ataupun jambatan yang menyambungkan dua buah negara.
この架け橋のフォーラムがあるのでということで私に話をしてくださいましたダトウズキフリーさんより声をかけていただき私は マレーシアに行きたいとそのことだけ考えて軽く「はい」と返事をしてしまいました。本日このような大きなイベントに出席するとは思ってもおりませんでした。
Beliau telah dijemput oleh Datuk Zulkifli untuk datang dan menjadi panelis malam ini dan beliau terus saja bersetuju untuk datang ke sini.
でもせっかく私にいただいたチャンスですので、私の今までの35年の交流を少し話させていただきたいと思います。
Disebabkan telah mendapat peluang untuk bercakap di forum ini, beliau akan menyampaikan ataupun bercerita tentang apa yang telah dilalui selama 35 tahun.
私は現在鹿児島の小さな町で主人と2人車関係のしております。年齢は65歳です。娘42歳、息子38歳、孫4人の本当におばあちゃんです。
Beliau berasal dari sebuah bandar kecil di Kagoshima, tinggal bersama suami. Beliau berusia 65 tahun. Shimazuna-san, ご出身が65歳。Berumur 65 tahun, mempunyai anak perempuan berusia 42 tahun. Dan anak lelaki yang berusia 38 tahun serta mempunyai 4 orang cucu.
この42歳の娘が小学3年生の時に一人の留学生と出会い、そこからがスタートとなりました。当時東方政策ルックイーストの留学生がよく私の家に来るようになり、今までに何百人の方が来たか記録しておりません。
Hai, okey. Semuanya bermula ketika anak perempuannya yang sekarang berusia 42 tahun, ketika itu berada di sekolah rendah, dan anak beliau tersebut telah bertemu dengan seorang pelajar asing, dan selepas itu mereka tidak melihat the rest was history. Dan di bawah Louis Polisi hingga kini telah beratus orang telah pergi ke rumah Shimazuna-san dan berinteraksi dengan beliau.
本日この日に至るまでに、FMF、吹上町マレーシア交流実行委員会の設立、マレーシアの親善団の派遣事業、またマレーシアからの受け入れ、あと日置市とスバンジア市との姉妹都市、国際交流員の誘致などをいたすことができました。たった一人が始めたマレーシアとの交流、現在は日置市の行政の方たちも協力参加していただけるようになりました。
Terima kasih. Bermula dengan secara individu sendiri, kini beliau telah pun melibatkan banyak pihak dalam interaksi bersama pelajar asing Malaysia. Beliau kini merupakan Presiden Fukiaki Malaysia Friendship Association di Hyoki City, Kagoshima, Japan. Dan beliau juga yang telah mencetus kepada bandar berkembar di antara Hyoki City dan Subang Jaya.
また最近では私、鹿児島県の日置市というところに住んでおりますが、近辺の大学高専の留学生の歓迎会、送別会、ハリラヤパーティーや私たちとのイベントを交流も交えて手伝いをし、一緒にやって活動をし楽しんでおります。
Beliau tinggal di Hyoki City dan hingga kini beliau masih aktif terlibat dengan berbagai program yang dikendalikan oleh pelajar Malaysia di Hyoki City dan di sekitarnya, termasuklah majlis selamat datang, majlis perpisahan dan juga majlis hari raya dan sebagainya.
私はよく学生の方が、新しい学生の方がいらっしゃった時に尋ねることがあります。あなたたちは先輩の私をどんな人と聞いていますか？留学生は私のことを 怖い、厳しい、優しい、面白いお母さんですと聞いています。面白いお母さんというのは分かりますが、怖い、厳しいは
Selalunya Madam Shimazono begitu teruja untuk mengetahui apakah cerita yang telah disampaikan oleh seniors kepada junior yang baru datang. Jadi jawapan yang Madam Shimazono dapat ialah pelajar-pelajar baru ini memberitahu bahawa senior mereka memberitahu bahawa Madam Shimazono adalah seorang yang perkataan ini sebenarnya pun tadi adalah kibishi, korai. Korai ini bermaksud menakutkan. Satu. Kemudian yasashi. Yasashi pula baik. Dan kemudian omoshiroi. Omoshiroi bermaksud omoshiroi ni macam-macam tak boleh jadi interesting, menarik dan semuanya positif lah. Jadi beliau rasa ini adalah kombinasi seorang okasan, seorang ibu. Tentang omoshiroi beliau faham tetapi yang kawaii itu, yang menakutkan tu beliau sampai sekarang tak faham kenapa.
私は彼たちにお母さんは約束を守らなかったり、時間を守らなければここは日本だよ、マレーシアじゃないよと特に厳しく言っております。私も小さい時から親、先生、職場でもきつく時間を守るというのは言われて育ってきております。
Mungkin kerana beliau seperti seorang ibu yang sentiasa mengingatkan anak-anak Malaysia ini supaya sentiasa mematuhi janji dan juga mematuhi masa. Beliau sendiri pun dibesarkan dan juga mempunyai banyak pengalaman di rumah, di tempat kerja dan sebagainya, dan dibesarkan dan dididik supaya mematuhi janji dan masa.
このことは国を関わらずとても大切なことじゃないのかなと思っております。で、私は留学生に接するときには自分の子供が外国に行って私みたいなおばさん、お母さんがいたら国にいるその子の本当のお父さんお母さんが安心するんじゃないかなと思って、留学生の皆さんも本当に自分の子供だと思って接しています。
Saya sendiri pun merasa terharu. Baik, ayat pertama ini adalah tentang menepati janji dan masa. Bagi beliau adalah ini bukan berkenaan Jepun atau Malaysia, mana-mana negara pun sepatutnya kita patut mematuhi masa dan janji. Walaupun pun beliau merasa sangat terharu dan sebab seperti yang dilihat kerana apabila beliau bersama pelajar Malaysia dan menjaga pelajar Malaysia, apa yang beliau fikirkan adalah jikalau anak-anak beliau sendiri berada di luar negara, beliau mengharapkan agar ada orang yang boleh menjadi pengganti seperti ibu bapa di sana, dan begitulah perasaan beliau kepada anak-anak Malaysia yang belajar di Jepun.
Thank you, Madam Shimazono. I think it was very touching, very heartfelt to hear directly from her, and I think we look forward to more sharing from you later.
Shimazono-san, ありがとうございました。まさにとても感動的なお話でした。
I hand the mic over back to Datuk Zulkifli to touch on the topic where many of us who do not know Pak Ungku very well. Pak Ungku is also known to be someone who lives a very healthy lifestyle. At the young age of almost 97, he still cycles. And in his younger days, he runs, he walks, and he was a very active football player. He would also challenge his colleagues, his staff at work to seek opportunities and learn from outside the workplace. Whenever he meets students or students like yourselves who are about to go to Japan, he would challenge them to say that you need to be able to look beyond the academic world, look beyond the university and learn from your experience outside Japan to become a smart copycat. And he would say, gain the experience, gain the good values from beyond the schools and bring back and copy those values. Can you share with us why is it important to be able to learn how to become a copycat, and how do we then get the people here to understand how do I prepare myself to be able to become a smart copycat?
Thank you, Joe. Basically, I remember one day Pak Ungku asked me, what do you do when you're free? I say, I play golf. So you're wasting your time. Golongan orang lemah fikiran. Golf. So you want to get a very expensive jogging shoe and start jogging. And make sure you jog around a mosque or a garden where you can have all this positive aura. And while you jog, do not jog with many people alone. Start talking to yourself. That's how I'm sure when you talk to yourself, you solve a lot of problems along the way. That was his advice to me, but until today I still play golf. Lately when I met him, he said, golf is okay. Time have changed. Because a lot of business transacted over a golf game and networking done during we play golf, so nothing wrong with it. But back to Zoe's question just now about the way you think, be a good copycatter. One thing that Pak Ungku emphasized in under Louis policy is that we should not have Kampung Melayu in Japan. When we JPA send students to Japan, there shouldn't be more than 4 students in university. And you're supposed to mix with the local. Get to know the local, learn from the local. Then you learn more, rather than you stick around with your own people and start, you never talk their language. So that's one thing that he did, but of course we suffered. We suffered. I was the first batch of student, we have two Malaysian in the entire university. And then later junior came, and the most we had is 4 to 5 students at one time. We cannot afford to have Kampung Melayu, because too small, so we end up, mixing with the Japanese and all that. And he also emphasized that in order to learn about these Japanese people and culture, you need to be in their home. In their home. So what we did was that, I remember those days I joined the badminton club. But the badminton club at that time, because I'm a sepak takraw player, but in Japan they don't play takraw at that time. They only play soccer, and soccer also not that popular at that time. And the field is so bad. It's no grass, ground, so dirty. So I choose to play badminton, even though I'm not good, but I'm better than most of the Japanese. Normally I will represent the university and so forth. And then from there I learned one thing that Ungku did mention later on, is that senpai kohai. How we learn from the senpai. Japanese is a society whereby, as a senpai, as a senior, you have a responsibility to take care of your kohai. So, and the senpai know their responsibility, so they will teach right thing to their kohai. And the kohai will listen and never disobey their senpai. So I went through the process. That is the process that I understand that we need to, in order to get the values of the Japanese, you must mingle and tingle with them, eat with them, play with them, stay with them, then you learn more. And throughout the journey, I managed to join many homestays program, including in Sapporo, in Nagoya, Yokohama, and all over the place, and that's where we start my relationship. And I remember the day I get married. On my wedding day, Tan Sri, ramai Jepun datang. Orang kampung terperanjat. Ramai Jepun. And then I remember that time the director of JPA, Dr. Aziz, said, this is success, he said. It's just not bringing back your scroll of degree, but the numbers of people coming to your wedding shows that you did your networking part. You can only learn about that society going to have more friends of that. Until today, throughout my business, today, when I listen to Okasan, I feel relaxed because my daughter and my granddaughter is now staying in Osaka. Anything happen to them, I know Okasan will take care. So that you know that somebody care about them. Got so many friends in Japan, but I know this person will take care of my. And sometimes she send all the fruits and everything. Also, my daughter is very happy. So this is something that I think Pak Ungku emphasized. The thing that Pak Ungku instilled in us is that be a good copycatter. Not only just copycat, kaizen, improve further. Because we cannot copy exactly what we learn from Japan to Malaysia because we are not Japanese. Kita kena ubah suai sikit menepati jiwa kita, masyarakat kita, agama kita, budaya kita, dan only kita implement. And I think it happen. And that's why the word kakehashi is very important to me, and also when I listen to Cikgu Raza and even from Pak Ungku, kakehashi ni lah jembatan ilmu, kata dia. Jembatan ilmu tak, bila jembatan tu tak putus, mana ilmu tu berpanjangan. And one thing that when I was in Japan, we saw kooperasi, co-op in Japan. I didn't realize that Pak Ungku, when he was a student in Waseda University, he also a member of co-op. And he came back to Malaysia and he formed kooperasi, started kooperasi. And then he talked about, that according to Tan Suzati, when she was young, she often followed the father to all the kampung, kat Banting lah, kat Petang, mana kan. At those days, people who want to go for Hajj will save money under their pillow. Under their blanket, all over the place kan. Suddenly flood. The money gone to the suddenly the flood, all the money is gone. So, this is not right. We must have a place to put money. And then invest the money, money make money. The way he explained to the orang kampung, where money can make money, they get excited. They don't understand what investment. But that's why Profesor Ungku say, Pak Ungku can explain in simple word that even orang kampung faham tentang the word investment. Kita dulu pun kadang tak faham apa investment. But the way he explained is so simple and people listen to him, and that's why kita have lembaga tabung haji. And tabung haji today is one of the largest institution in Malaysia who have a lot of deposits and investment. These are things that when we talk about learning, absorb, digest, enhance and adapt our society, I think Pak Ungku has shown us a lot of examples that until today we still use and also we still implement in what we have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dato'. A little bit more about making sense of things later through Tan Sri, but before that, I'd like to ask about the ability to think of the future. There's no crystal ball. He cannot predict the future, but cannot be denied that Pak Ungku himself is a visionary, and he often thinks of the solutions for problems of the future. There's one citation in the book that says during his time as a board member of PBT, he always will emphasize to the board, to the teachers of the institution, that it is our responsibility to ensure that what the students learn today will be suitable for the jobs of the future, even if we don't know what the jobs of the future may be. But today that seems to be lacking in our leaders. Sometimes we leave the students misguided or without any guidance to plan for their future. Can you share with us why is it important to be able to plan and think of the future, and how do we then instill this?
Thank you. You give me a very tough question. Okay, I think this is certainly what we are all here for. I think we are all here for because of tomorrow. Yeah? We are not here because today, we are not here because of yesterday. They are important. but we need to know that there is a tomorrow, and therefore how do you transact tomorrow is an issue that all of us are facing. We know we can do this on a daily basis, yeah? But because of things has changed, daily basis is no longer good enough. We used to plan for 5 years, that is no longer good enough. We are talking about generations, yeah? And for example, if you talk about sustainable development as a concept now of growth, people are talking about what do you perceive generations from now. 1 generation means 30 years. How can you see so far from 30 years from now? I think this is where, when we look at the education system, we have almost failed, because we don't have the capacity to forecast that far. And that capacity is something that I think we need to start to learn how to have it. University, like this university, all university wants to progress in the future. But until and unless you know what the future looks like, you will not be able to do this, right? And this is where I think this whole question of lateral thinking becomes important. In other words, looking things from different perspectives and giving different views from what this perspective gives us. What we are taught almost a linear logical thinking, from A to B, from B to C, from C to D, and then we end up to Z. Okay? But the world is no longer linear. The world, it can be from A to Q and Q back to S and whatever it is. And that kind of a thinking is what we call the lateral thinking. Often we say thinking out of the box, right? And to have this thinking out of the box means you need to have flexible mindset. And normally, Pak Ungku will look at water as a kind of a metaphor, as compared to rocks. Thinking like the water means if you have water flowing, the water will flow at any pace, at anywhere, because they don't have a kind of an obstruction. If there's a boulder in between, the water will go by the side. Yeah. If there's any barriers, the water will overcome it, right? And therefore, this fluidity of thinking is something that we need to adapt, as compared to a logical thinking, which means to say that you have one thinking and then you cannot move it, because there is a barrier in front of you. This is what we call the rock kind of a thinking, hard way of thinking. And I think this is a differentiation between the Eastern and the Western way of looking at stuff. Our organization generally has been bred through Western thinking and Western logic. Whereas the Eastern thinking, the Japanese thinking, the Chinese thinking, even the Malay thinking are basically that fluidity thinking. But we do not give this enough recognition because it is not Western dominant. Okay? Because it's not Western dominant. It doesn't come from Harvard, neither does it come from Oxford, neither does it come from Cambridge. These are the only 3 universities that we even quote as a successful university. We do not talk about the University of Tokyo. We do not talk about the University of Keio, for example. Yeah? And these are universities that have a different way of thinking. I'll give you a very simple example. All of us are talking about the 4th Industrial Revolution. Ministry has been telling us, where is your curriculum for 4.0? Thinking that we will be technologically advanced because the logic says so. There's internet now, there's handphone in all your pockets, there's handphones, yeah. And you cannot wait but to look at your handphone every 10 minutes. Yeah? There's a kind of engagement we have with this technology. But what is the Japanese talking about? The Japanese is not talking about the 4th Industrial Revolution. The Japanese is talking about the 5th Social Revolution. Nampak beza? We are number 4 and number 5. We are talking about technology, we are talking about social revolution. And there's a kind of mindset that the Japanese has. Technology doesn't work for me because I don't like technology. That is why they're so human-centric. They are not technological-centric. And they use technology to make sure that human beings become more human as compared to the other way around. So this is the kind of thinking that I think when we get involved with the Japanese way of looking at things, with the Japanese way of viewing things, you get a different world altogether. And I'm sorry that the Muslim worlds are not engaged in this. Yeah? When Ungku talks about copycat, I also want to differ a little bit. Yeah? Because there is enough values in the Malay culture that assimilates, that also reflect the Japanese way of thinking. The only difference is that the Japanese take it on, the Japanese practiced it, the Japanese perfected it, but we don't. The Malays do not use their culture as a basis to advance. The Malays always like to copy somebody else's culture and forget their own. And I think if you begin to look at the old culture, our culture actually comes close to the Japanese culture. That's why the Malays and the Japanese can somehow rather symbiotically live. Budaya kita dengan budaya mereka tidak berbeza. Budaya mereka dengan budaya kita sama. Difference is that they practice, we don't. Ambil saja janji. Orang sampai buat janji tadi. Promise. What do Malay culture say? Janji mesti dibuka. Orang yang mencapai janji, Islam kata mungkin munafik. Right? Tapi this is what's happening every day. And janji means also to be punctual. If you say 8 o'clock, then 8 o'clock it is. That's janji. You cannot say 8 o'clock and say insyaAllah and come at 9:30 and kata ini Allah dia pasal. So we have got the same element of values. The only difference is that they practice, they perfected it. And the moment we come back to our values, the way we understand it, we will be as good as the Japanese. I hope even better. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Tan Sri, for bringing us back to realizing that we too have our own values. We also are in a position to not only adopt their values, but we can also give back so that they can learn that we have our values, that they can also adopt within their own society. Which brings me back to Madam Shimozon. Question for you is, you recently met with Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir in Fukuoka, who is a role model to many Malaysians and also the Japanese society.
最近福岡でマハティール首相に会われたんですか？
はい。So can you share with us the importance and maybe some experience of who are the role models that you have, and how can we share with the audience your experience with your role models?
はい、それに関連してロールモデルについてのお話を伺いたいんですけれども、下園さんご自身がロールモデルをお持ちかどうか、それからロールモデルについて、ロールモデルというのは例えばですね、他の人が成功しているとか、この方がすごいなと思ってて、その方々から見習いたいという人物がいたら、ぜひお話をお聞かせください。
先ほど失礼しました。少し落ち着きました。すいません。私もちょっとその質問はうまく話せるかわかんないんですけど、周りにその方がいらっしゃるかって言ったら、
すいません。
誰って目標なんですけど、私、
じゃあ、はい、じゃあそれでは
ごめんなさい。
はい、いいえ、この間の事前準備打ち合わせの時の質問に戻りますね。他の人に対してその人が成功するように励ますこと、応援すること、また他の人の成功を見て自分も何かを学ぶということについて、日本人の文化の中ではどういうふうに行われていますか？
私も感じたことで言うわけですよね。
はい、
私はですね、この質問ですけど、先日ですね、日本のテレビを見ていましたが、日本には家電の大型店がたくさんあるんです。で、そのお店の方たちは今、どこの国も一緒だと思いますが、必死で売り上げを伸ばすために、販売するために努力されていらっしゃるんですけど、そのテレビの中に出られた方のことを少しお話しさせていただきたいんですけど、ある一人の個人で なさっている会社の方が紹介されたお店のことを少しお話をさせていただきたいと思います。
はい、テレビでご覧になった、
を感じたですよね。
はい, tadi kita tukar sikit soalan, di mana soalan yang sebenarnya adalah berkenaan dengan role model, tetapi kita tukar sedikit bagaimana Madam Sumarsono mendapat inspirasi atau melihat kejayaan orang lain yang boleh dicontohi dan bagaimana cara orang Jepun berfikir dalam mencontohi kejayaan orang lain. Baik, sebelum menguraikan tadi, dia ada memberitahu bahawa sama ada beliau sudah pasti sama ada beliau boleh menjawab dengan dengan baik atau tidak soalan ini. Tapi satu yang beliau teringat adalah tentang bagaimana pekedai-pekedai elektrik yang berskala besar di sekeliling beliau begitu bersungguh-sungguh berusaha untuk menaikkan jualan. Dan apa yang beliau ingin kongsikan sebentar lagi adalah berkenaan dengan satu program tentang seseorang yang terlibat dalam bisnes ini di TV yang beliau saksikan sebelum ini.
大型店ではできないことをやるのが小さい企業の、障害の場所方法かなって言ってお話をされたんですけど、アフターサービスはもちろんのこと、その電化店には全然関係のない、そこの老人の方が品物を買われたとしたら、そこに行って、そこのおじいちゃんおばあちゃんたちの買い物の手伝いがないですかとか、庭の手入れはどうですかとか、あとご利用してますよか、家でどっか修理ないですかで、電化製品は買われましたらいつ配達したらいいですかと言って、その売られたところの家庭に応じた一定件を見て、そこの顧客に対しての商売の仕方をして、年々売り上げを伸ばされているのをお聞きしました。
Dalam program yang beliau saksikan tersebut, individu yang terlibat dengan bisnes tersebut beliau adalah terlibat dengan peralatan kedai peralatan elektrik yang berskala besar. Jadi beliau telah berusaha begitu bersungguh-sungguh untuk menaikkan jualannya dengan beberapa perkara yang telah dilakukan. Antaranya ialah perkara-perkara yang tidak dapat dilakukan oleh syarikat besar diserahkan kepada syarikat-syarikat kecil untuk dibuat. Dan selain daripada itu, bukan saja menjual, tetapi mereka juga terlibatnya melihat kepada after service-nya, seperti contohnya kalau pembeli itu adalah orang-orang yang telah berumur, mungkin mereka akan bantu untuk menghantar dan sebagainya. Begitu juga kalau ada sampah yang nak dibuang, mungkin barang-barang elektrik ni sebenarnya isinya sahaja tapi sampahnya pun banyak, jadi mereka juga offer untuk tawarkan untuk membantu mengemas atau membuang sampah. Dan juga jika ada peralatan-peralatan rosak yang boleh dibaiki, termasuk mereka berusaha sampai ke perkara-perkara sekecil itu untuk menaikkan jualan.
で、一人の常連のお客さんが大型店は大型店よりお金は高いですけど、そのお店はですね、でも人情味があるからついつい高くても買ってしまう。そうです、はい、と言われてました。そういう心の温かさが自分のお店の成功しているんじゃないかなと、そこのお店側の社長さんは答えてました。で、私のうちもちっちゃいお店ですけど、やっぱり一つ一つお客さんに対して接していることが、主人と私が45年ぐらいお店を 続けられているもの一つかなと自分には重ね合わせて感じております。以上です。見たのは私がここに来る2週間ぐらい前です。はい。
Baik, TV program ni beliau tonton 2 minggu sebelum datang ke Malaysia. Jadi program itu berkenaan dengan pekedai berskala besar ya. Manakala Madam Sumarsono dan suaminya mengusahakan kedai yang berskala kecil. Jadi apabila melihat mendengar apa yang dilakukan oleh individu tersebut untuk memajukan bisnesnya, ini menjadi satu inspirasi dan juga perkara yang patut dicontohi ya, yang dirasakan oleh beliau patut dicontohi oleh kedai beliau ya, untuk memajukan bisnes sebagaimana yang dibuat oleh pekedai berskala besar tadi.
Thank you, Madam Diraja. Lessons can also be learned from just watching TV. And even from my own experience, that is one of the ways we learn when we are in Japan. We must watch Japanese TV. Now there are a lot of English channels, but back then, we either have to get a multilingual television or we have to watch Japanese shows. And sometimes we speak more Japanese from the TV shows, from the dramas that we watch in Japan. So ladies and gentlemen, which brings us to the next round, to which I have mentioned earlier at the very beginning. We will take questions from the audience. What we like to ask is we're going to take 3 questions and then we'll see how we go from there. So if I can ask for those who have questions, for you to come forward, mention your name, where you're from, and who you would like to address the question to, and then keep your question simple and short. We'll take 3 questions, and then we will answer the questions once we've received all of the 3 questions. So over to the audience. Yes, the gentleman at the back. Ada mic kan?
Ya, ada. Assalamualaikum. Thank you, MC. My name is Maizul. I was the president of Sabang Bahasa Malaysia USM, of which at that time I selected Profesor as my advisor of the society, even though he was the dean of pharmacy school at that time. And when you mentioned about lateral thinking just now, but I didn't know it was like memory, now the memory lane for me, Prof. My question is that you mentioned about our education system just now, which you think is not up to par. It was a bit shocking to me, but hopefully, in my opinion, we don't need to revamp a lot of things. But in your perspective, how much more needs to be done to improve it further? Thank you.
Okay, that's question 1. Yes.
My name is Izzat Sultan. I'm a lecturer at Kuala Pharmacy. I am partner and also alumni of AJ 25th batch. So, イザトと申します。AJ25 期生の、学生でした。My question is to Madam Shimozono. まず英語で話しさせていただきます。My question is that what is the reason that actually you want to involve with the Malaysian? I mean, like, there are a lot of countries that Japanese involved with, so why you choose to be involved with Malaysian? じゃあ、どのことで、どうして、マレーシア人として交流したいというきっかけをお話しさせていただきたい、それの方をお願いいたします。以上です。ありがとうございました。
Okay, we get the third question, yes, from the front.
So formerly I was from the Discourse, so I have seen quite long time ago when I was in the. So my question is, we did mention about the software.
Can you mention, so the question is to who?
To Dato'.
To Dato' Zul. So one each, yeah? Okay.
I like to share very much, okay? So my question is our Prime Minister have gone to Japan again to do his policy, and I was also amazed with the German technology, but I'd like to know what is young generation. I'm quite old. I'm just retired from the project corporation. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. I know most of us will feel a little bit unsettled if I say the education system has failed. And I will say it on the basis of what the education system is all about. Yeah? Particularly now when we look at what Malaysia is all about, right? The issue of corruption, the issue of unethical practices, and the issue of immorality and stuff like that. And we begin to reflect, yeah, that most of these crimes, I would call it crimes, are created by people who have got good education. They are people who are holding top position, prime minister, ministers, and all those things. And we begin to ask, if this education system that builds this kind of people, how come we are now embroiled in such a massive, I don't know what to describe, but you know what it is. Right? Where have we gone wrong? And this is where I thought we have failed, because we have not been able to put in the kind of values that people who are educated should have. Right? Vis-a-vis again, when you look at the Japanese. The Japanese make one simple mistake, they will apologize to everybody, they will bow, and they will resign. Here we make massive mistake, we still smile in the TV every day. Ya. Istilah malu itu tidak ada lagi pada kita. Istilah marwah itu tidak ada lagi pada kita. Istilah yang kita katakan keutuhan itu tidak ada lagi pada kita. So what is education if it is not about dignity, if it is not about values, and it is not about self-esteem? Is it about money? Is it about the number of handbags you've got? Is it all the education is all for? And when you go back and trace this, where we have gone wrong, we have gone off tangent of what we call the falsafah pendidikan kebangsaan. And if I ask you how many of you know the falsafah pendidikan kebangsaan by heart, I would bet my last dollar 90% will not know, including vice chancellors of many universities. So in what business are we in? You go to a company and you say, I want to join your company, and the company said, do you know my philosophy? I say, I don't know. They say, you can go home. I don't even want to interview you. And yet, many people in the education system do not understand the falsafah pendidikan kebangsaan. And this is why I'm saying we're failing in that particular respect, and I'll stand by that statement. I'll stand by that statement. And this is where I think we need to come back to terms, inshallah. What is a framework of education? What is the falsafah is all about? The falsafah, in a nutshell, talks about mendidik insan yang seimbang dan harmonis dan mempunyai kesejahteraan diri. Nurturing persons who are balanced and harmony and has got kesejahteraan diri. I will not translate kesejahteraan diri because that's a wholly Malay word. Once you translate it, you lose its meaning. Just like the Japanese do not translate their kaizen. You understand kaizen the way the Japanese understands it. And we need to understand sejahtera the way Malay understands it, because it is embedded in Malay values, Malay cultures, and Malay tradition. If you don't have that, you don't have it. Yeah? So this is where I'm saying that we need to come back to what education is all about in our own framework. And that framework is 30 years ago, Falsafah Pendidikan Kebangsaan, crafted in 1988. Right? And 30 years hence, we don't even know what it is all about, and therefore we see the consequence now. Okay? I just want to make a short announcement. November 15 dan 16 hari bulan ini, Universiti Islam Antarabangsa will be organizing an international education of values, re-examining the falsafah pendidikan kebangsaan. We want to bring this back. Inshallah, the university will have to to nurture it, so that now we begin to understand and rebuild education. So that people who are educated are also dignified, are also self-esteem, are also socially responsible to the society, as we have talked earlier, not just to themselves and their own comfort. I hope I have explained myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Tan Sri Zul. The following question was to Madam Shimozoro. Yeah, on why did you choose to interact with Malaysians?
すいません。なぜ私がマレーシアをっていうご質問でしたよね。私が初めて知り合ったのは35年ぐらい前に鹿児島は川の交流って言って日本にホームステイされた留学生の方たちが2週間、いろんな家庭にホームステイして日本人の生活習慣いろんなことを学ばれることになるプログラムがありました。一緒に仕事をして一緒にご飯を食べて一緒に遊んでっていうので本当に家族の一員となって来られた方はそこのお父さんお母さんと呼んで一緒に生活していく中で私のうちに一人のマレーシア留学生がいらっしゃったんです。
Tentang soalan mengapa dalam banyak-banyak negara Malaysia yang dipilih sebagai pilihan untuk berinteraksi dengan Nabi Rapat. Ini membawa beliau pada sejarah 35 tahun yang lepas, di mana pada 35 tahun yang dahulu terdapat sebuah program homestay bersama dengan keluarga Jepun selama 2 minggu di Kagoshima, dan pada ketika itu pelajar atau peserta yang datang dan tinggal di rumah Madam Shimozono adalah dari Malaysia.
なぜマレーシアの人たちはムスリムの人が当時多かったもんですから食事とかいろんなお祈りとかいろんなことで制限で受け入れ方が本当に正直大変だったんです。でマレーシアの留学生がホームステイしますよどなたか受けてくれませんか言われたらみんなノーノーだったんですけど私ははいどうぞはいどうぞはいなぜかと言いますと私は当時外国に行くっていうのはなかなか難しいことでしたから自分のうちに受け入れたらその国の方のいろんなことを教えてもらえるし教えてあげられるしそういうのに親身になって私たちに接してくれた方がマレーシアの方だったんです。
Pada ketika itu banyak keluarga yang diminta untuk mengambil anak-anak angkat tersebutlah. Tetapi apabila diminta untuk mengambil anak-anak angkat dari Malaysia, ramai keluarga Jepun yang menolak disebabkan faktor mereka yang beragama Islam, maksudnya pelajar-pelajar Malaysia ni beragama Islam, jadi terdapat banyak kekangan dan agak susah untuk mengendalikan makan dan juga tempat sembahyang dan sebagainya. Walau bagaimanapun hanya Madam Shimozono sahaja yang sudi menerima peserta-peserta dari Malaysia pada ketika itu. Bagi Madam Shimozono, beliau pada ketika itu hampir tidak ada peluang untuk keluar negara. Jadi bagi beliau, dengan membawa masuk orang antarabangsa ke dalam rumah beliau, dengan cara ini beliau mampu untuk mempelajari banyak perkara tentang antarabangsa.
その留学生の方たちと接していくうちに人の温かさ、思いやり、日本人の持ってないものを私すごく感じて、でそこからマレーシアっていう人にもうすごく惹かれてですね、テレビで見てもラジオで聞いてもマレーシアでもう本当に自分の体の一部になってるみたいで、そういう留学生からもずっと流れてきて、打倒月類さんとお知り合うことができ、 私にとってはズキフリーさんはちょっと年齢差はあまりないですけど、私の息子でありズキフリーさんの娘さんアニスちゃんは孫であり、アニスちゃんの娘ソフィアちゃんは私のひ孫だから3世代続いてます。そういう関係になってます。いいですか？はいはい
Okey, baik. Jadi sepanjang masa selepas daripada itu beliau terus menerus menerima kedatangan pelajar dan peserta dari Malaysia, dan sepanjang bersama mereka Madam Shimozono begitu terpikat ya dengan perkataan yang digunakan ini adalah seperti Atatakasa, Omoyari. Saya harap pelajar yang ada basketball mungkin faham ya, Atatakasa maksud kebaikan hati, kemudian Omoyari ini maksudnya budi bahasa, cara kita ingat pada orang lain ya, keprihatinan kita dan sebagainya. Jadi Madam Shimozono makin mengenali Malaysia, dan pada akhirnya Malaysia ini seperti sudah lekat di jiwa beliau, di mana apabila beliau dengar perkataan Malaysia di TV ke di radio dan di mana-mana, ia seperti sebahagian daripada diri beliau ya. Yang lepas ni saya boleh translate kan Datuk Zul? Okey, yang ini dengan kemarahan Datuk Zul saya translate, iaitu bagi Madam Shimozono, walaupun nama anak angkat, Datuk Zul lebih kurang usia dengan beliau tapi walau bagaimanapun dan namanya program homestay, jadi beliau menganggap Datuk Zul seperti anak kandung beliau sendiri, manakala anak perempuan Datuk Zul, Anis, dianggap seperti cucu beliau sendiri.
よろしいですか？私が今日ここに来るっていうのをきっかけを作ってくれた娘がいました。お母さんはお金で買えないマレーシアの方たちとの交流は、素晴らしい宝物だって、このチャンスを与えられたことは今までのお母さんに対してのご褒美だよってみんなの前で頑張ってしまった。おいでって。
Okey, sebelum dia datang ke sini, apabila mendapat peluang ini, anak perempuan beliau berkata, "Mak, ini adalah satu peluang yang sangat besar ya untuk Mak hadir ke atas pentas dan bercakap. Ini merupakan seperti hadiah ya, anugerah kepada apa yang Mak telah lakukan selama ini."
Thank you very much, Shimozono. It is indeed our honor to have you with us this morning. So to the third question, Datuk Zul, on Society 5.0.
Saya dah sebab. Saya ni mak saya. I feel so good that dia menganggap anak saya sebagai cucu dia dan cucu saya sebagai cicit dia. So we are one big family, and yesterday we celebrated our 30th anniversary of relationship. Yeah. Dan balik pada soalan tadi, bila Tuan Mahathir dilantik sebagai Perdana Menteri ke-7, seolah-olah macam ada satu ombak baru. The new, the Lugis 2.0 or 3.0 we can say. Well, as I like to echo whatever Council has mentioned just now, because actually most of the country has already implemented Industry 4.0 ever since 2000. In fact, the Germans say that the whole world should achieve the target of Industry 4.0 by 2020. I don't know where are we today, country. So, Industry 2.0. Oh. I thought Malaysia is actually 3.0. Why if you are far back? One thing about Japanese is that when we learn about Industry 4.0, they say, no, we need to consent. We need to change the way, we need to improve whatever the German has created. So they come up with Society 5.0. And Tansi did mention to me, why not we just grab
industry 4.0 and jump to society 4.0. We can, but we need to have the values. We need to have the values of the Japanese, then we can achieve the society 5.0. Along the way, as I come from Subang to UIA, I've spoken to Madam about how do we handle the elderly or orang tua. And to the Japanese today, orang tua is just like kindergarten for elderly. They go every morning, send their parents to orang tua, and they have the itinerary to learn. They make them walk, they make them exercise, they make them think, and every day is an new day. So that their parents can still think and move around, and they enjoy going to the rumah orang tua. Terus dulu kita macam mendohaka pada ibu bapa yang mengantar rumah orang tua. Tapi the Chinese know, because when they send there, they can mix with the other elderly, and then they can enjoy together with their friends. So when I talk to them, I realize that it's true that every morning they are sending their parents to rumah orang tua. Kita baru orang tua kan? Hopefully kat Malaysia one day, because I heard that a few companies from Japan has came, visited Malaysia, spoken to somebody about all this idea, but I don't know how they adopt to this. I'm sure it's a very good, positive for us to learn from the Japanese how they manage the elderly. According to statistics saying that in year 2035, 46% of Japanese will be 65 years old and above. Like it or not, they need to prepare for the next generation to come. And so the society 5.0 is more about, I think today we have so many machines, they call it AI, artificial intelligence. But what they have is dia masukkan roh dalam tu, masukkan jiwa, emosi dalam robot-robot tu, supaya robot tadi jiwa sikit. Dia jangan buat robotnya, dia pun masukkan roh dalam mesin tu so that they can communicate with the people using that. A very simple example, Tan Sri. Boleh percaya tak Tan Sri mengikuti ais boleh berbual dengan Tan Sri? It's happening in Japan today. Okay? Whereby when you katakan you want to have lontong plus nasi goreng and mihun goreng for your week punya menu. So you buy all the menus, everything, ingredient, you just put into the refrigerator, the fridge will scan everything. Then you will inform you, tak cukup bawang. Because bawang you need to have your nasi goreng and also mihun. Then suddenly, the apps will tell you to your smartphone that tak cukup bawang. So you just key into Tesco send bawang to your house. So the elderly will be very, very safe, convenient, they don't have to go because the refrigerator has found them what is not enough, not sufficient for them to cook. This is society 5.0. In the kampung, they don't have enough drivers, so they make sure that the bus is without drivers. They call it the ghost bus. But what they did is that they have so many sensors in the past that they can even foresee a dog crossing 50 or 80 meters away. Kadang-kadang kita tak nampak sensor dia pakai satellite. So it's much safer than manusia. But manusia ni sambil memandu melihat handphone. Tapi bilang belakang. So that's how. Today I think it's about time that I think I really applaud Tom if you want to really look back into his policy. And this time I think we should also emphasize about all the new technologies under the Society 5.0 such as reusable energy, or green technology. These are things that we need to learn from the Japanese. It's no more about creating robot, but robot with a roh dan emosi. These are things that we can. I hope I answered your question.
I think it's a very important point. Kalau kita faham 4.0 the way we understand it, we are off tangent again. What happened eventually when you talk about 5.0, because of the robotics punya contribution, now your work days are reduced from 5 maybe to 2 or to 3. Because the efficiency of robotics. What does that mean? That means you got 3 days for yourself to be human again. Faham tak? Kalau kita bekerja every day at night we have to work. Now with the help of these robotics, now I can free my time, and therefore I've got a lot more leisure time. And therefore, what do? I can be human again. And in places like Germany, people are now going out of the center of the city, go back to the rural areas. They don't have rural areas, suburb maybe, and they're starting to do gardening. And they became human again in that particular sense. And they go for holidays. They have quality time with their family because they don't have to work again. Ini maknanya menginsangkan teknologi, to humanize the technology. Whereas here what we are doing here, we are mechanizing the human being. Two different rules, because we don't understand what all this 4.0 is all about. And I think that understanding is very important for where we're going to be in the future.
Thank you. Thank you, Aziz. I will allow for, I saw just now one hand, one last burning question kalau ada. If you must ask, kalau tak nanti dia tak boleh aman. So if you can, maybe introduce yourself and who would like to address the question.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Idris from PBT. 私は PBT から Idris をお願いします。My question is as follows. In what way, in the future, we as the student, or like I said, the future leader of the country, can contribute to the society? Is it enough just by working with the government or the Japanese company? Now, that's my question. Thank you.
I'm not too sure how to answer this question. I think it all depends on who we are and what we are. Yeah, and I think this is where basically I think the education system must look at it again. Yeah? Before we can understand what we want to do to the future or for the future, we must understand who we are. Right? And I think this is where one of the pillar of education, learning to be. Ataupun dalam falsafah pendidikan kebangsaan, aspek kerohanian dan juga emosi itu mesti diperkasakan. Because by understanding yourself, then you understand where your future lies. If you don't understand, then you become this robotic thing. Kita mengikut saja. My difficulty now with this technology is we are just following what the technology wants us to do. I just give you one latest research. Yeah. When there is 10-country research, 2 countries are developing countries, Malaysia and India. And one of the questions is they ask, how many of the respondents, about 50,000 of them, are not able to live without looking at their devices, to be handphone, to the internet, any of the devices, even in a day. Yeah? Just ask yourself very quickly, how many of you cannot live without looking at devices even for a day? The global survey says 48% say I will not be able to live without my devices even for a day. Okay? Global sample. Malaysian sample says 70% are not able to live without looking at the devices in a day. Japanese sample say 20%. The most technologically advanced country can live without their handphones. Only 20% cannot. Malaysian sample, which is I think 2.0 tadi, below 4.0, 70% say they cannot live. Only 20% say they can live. Now, how do you reconcile this? And the answer is simple. The Japanese understand that this technology is a supplement to life. Yeah? It makes my life better. I make an analogy, very crude one, but I think it conveys the meaning. They look at technology like a toilet. If I want to go to the toilet, I go to the toilet. After that, I go away. The toilet is there. And I need to go again, I will go there. Yeah? But for the Malaysian, their life is the toilet. 70% of the time they spend in the toilet, whether they need it or not, they don't care because that is part of their life. And the Japanese have a different way of thinking because they understand themselves and they understand what technology is all about. We do not understand ourselves, and therefore the technology takes over. The technology becomes the deciding factor for us. Yeah. And the other study that says most people who have got handphones will look at their handphone first time they woke up in the morning. Before gigi, gosok gigi, tak mata masih ada lagi, handphone dulu. Yeah? And we will look at the handphone again 200 times in a day. Whether there's lighting, whether it shakes, whether there's sound, you must look at it. And that's when I talk about the technology take over the human being. And these are very dangerous things. Walaupun Dr. Zul katakan the technology helps you, but if you do not know how to control technology, then the technology becomes your master, you become the servant. And these are the issues that youngsters who are now natives of technology must understand who they are before they even engage themselves in technology. If they don't, then I think the world is gone. At least for Malaysia. Yeah? India pun begitu juga. Just to make that, India, dia punya sample yang kata cannot live without the handphone ni 68%. So two developing countries are obsessed with their gadgets, where the developed country, German about 30%. So German dengan Japan are very low, but Malaysia dengan India is very high. And that goes back to education who we are. Thank you.
Okay, I think Tan Sri punya fundamental tu penting. Saya pun kadang-kadang fikir, am I addicted to the phone? Tapi kita jangan humble kepada gadget, itu penting. Tapi soalan yang anda tu, back to your question, me, I am just like you 35 years ago, okay? When we went to Japan, we were asked to emulate good values of the Japanese. Don't never mention about being the person who bring back technology, no. Don't ever bring back the values. When Tun Mahathir became the number 7 Prime Minister, officers from BTN called me. They said, can you come to BTN talk about what really Tun want? Oh, dia baru punya. After some time they forgot what is the basis of this policy. I said, no, don't always talk about values, nothing else. The country can only develop with good values. Macam mana hebat teknologi kita ke apa ke, tak ada values tu, nilai-nilai ni tak ada, we won't change. So, apa yang kami belajar dulu adalah go to Japan, learn about values, bring back to Malaysia, instill the values to the people around us. And to mention, if you can change 5% around you, good enough. Another 5 change, another 5. If you want 10,000 Malaysian goes to Japan, adopt the values, make some changes around them is good enough. Because to me, to change the entire society is not easy. Maybe take 30-40 years, but it can happen if we start from small ripples. It can become a big tsunami. Young men, students who are going to Japan, we must go there with a mission. Mission to adopt and to learn, change yourself, bring back the changes, and share with as many people in Malaysia. Notwithstanding just your professional whatever you learn, but actually the little values that you have. I have many people in this room, especially the group from Omoyari, from Cakap Jepun, K-Peng Talk. These are your seniors who went to Japan, learn about Japanese ethics and values, and they start having their own small organization to spread the good news. And today we have Omoyari become institute. They study what is the meaning of Omoyari, and from the Omoyari is actually to care about people around you. Sebelum tu langsung kita fikir apa yang jadi implikasi pada orang lain. Simple thing like that. And then like for myself, katakan circle, we are instilling the Japanese business ethic in building your business. And I think for K-Peng Talk and Cakap Jepun, they're talking about the history and many things about the Japanese values to the side. So please, there are offline and online
us, please attach, engage with us and learn about how to go about after you come back. And however come back must be alumni who is policy member and contribute back to your society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Zul, for also slight advertisement for our alumni. Yeah. And Tan Sri for that very deep insight into learning about values and things. So which brings us to, we have one final round of questions. I will ask Dr. Zul first, where if we can relate back some 20 years ago, I was a student in Japan, and we were going through the height of the Asian financial crisis, where some of us who were there were not even sure whether we could continue our studies, and those, our kohai in AAJ, in PPKTJ at that time, were not even sure whether they could come to Japan. So the Look East policy was also not spared. The government did not have sufficient funds, and for those who are not aware, the government of Malaysia actually reached out to the government of Japan asking for an emergency grant to ensure that the program would continue. We would later find out that Ungku and also some of the directors of the Look East policy program in Malaysia, they played a very key role in getting us this grant. And what was that role was, they guaranteed, they told the Japanese that I will guarantee that the Malaysian students will study hard, they will get good grades, and they will come back to be part of the necessary human capital of what Malaysia needs. And this guarantee was what the Japanese government really took in and said that Malaysians are very serious. So my question is, why would Ungku and others, they gave their word to the Japanese, and the Japanese then said, this is something that we believe, and how do we instill this, that people must own and mean what they say, in being able to convince others that you are actually worthy of the kind of support that you require.
Yeah, I remember the days, because that was back in 97, 98. I was a banker at that time, and we worked closely with some of the Japanese bankers, and especially David. And that's where we raised the special yen loan, they call HELP, Higher Education Learning Program for the loan. And the people behind it, none other than Arwah, your father, and also Pak Ungku, went all the way to the Japanese embassy and discussed about it. They felt so sentimental about AAJ, Ambang Sohipun. To them, this is something that cannot be abolished. And Tan Sri, you know that actually at that time, they already terminated the technical program in UTM. That program was actually stopped. And the next one will be AAJ. So these two gentlemen cannot stand. And I was the alumni president. We made some proposal, and as mentioned by Zulfikar just now, these two gentlemen promised on behalf of the Malaysian that these students will go to Japan and study hard, and they will come back to become the best person, to contribute to both the nation. And I don't think I dare to do that. These fathers of us, Pak Ungku and Awan Diraja, is so confident that the product of Look East policy can contribute back to the nation. And I think because of that, at that time was Nomura Taishi, the ambassador. He lobbied the Minister of Finance in Japan, and finally the law was approved. And that's why you can see that Ambang Aswan is still here until today. And in fact, we reinstate program Technical Jepun for the Technical College. And I'd like to thank Pak Ungku and Cikgu Razak for their contribution for that. Satu tepukan untuk mereka. Promises. Japanese hold on promises. And it's the obligation of the alumni and all the members to uphold promises by our so-called fathers, fathers or our seniors in the organization. And this is something that I learned from the Japanese word senpai kokai. how Cikgu Raza and Pak Ungku really treasure the kohai. Dia nak jaga junior dia ni. Dia nak make sure benda ni jalan. Sebagai senior, dia sanggup buat satu perjanjian. Dia kata, jangan risau, we will deliver it. And until today, you can see that 80% our graduates are working for the Japanese organisation. Itu satu pelaburan yang besar kerajaan kita keluarkan, tapi yang mengambil balik keuntungannya ialah syarikat Jepun. Tapi janji tetap janji. Lately barulah ada ramai yang mula keluar, tapi sebab kita, you can see now your seniors are working, taking big post dekat pasal Panasonic, all that. These are the people, I think, if they go out of the Japanese companies, I can sure they earn double or triple what they are earning, but these are promised to be kept. And I think kenapa kohai-kohai ni semua, all the juniors uphold that, because they know ada senior dia yang telah berjanji pada Jepun bahawa we will come back and deliver our promises. Itu jawapan saya. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Professor. Yes, I also recall, I took over the presidency of ELAPS about 3 years ago, remembering what my senpai Datuk Zul mentioned to me many years ago, that in our responsibility of managing the alumni, it is seumpama like holding segelas air. Yeah, I always recall that story where if we say that, if you hold segelas air and you let it go, air itu akan tumpah. So we have to hold it for the next person so that we can pass it over. And it is umpama that responsibility that I also take, that promise was made by Datuk Zul. I'm making that commitment that inshallah one day one of you will be in this seat, becoming the next leadership of our alumni with this policy, inshallah. Then I will probably give you a simpler question this time, Tan Sri. Boleh kan? One of the things, one of the key strengths that Pak Ungku has, although he is a very learned, a very accomplished person, is that he has the ability to explain things to the man on the street. Yeah? He will use the example of the kain sarung to the orang kampung to help them understand about how to save money in tabung haji, what is the difference between putting it under your pillow and things like that. And today I think we do not have enough of this. We often use big words, fancy charts, fancy names, fancy jargons that people don't really understand. And as you alluded to earlier, even the falsafah pendidikan kebangsaan, people now use many different terminology, but they don't really go back to the basics and understand what it actually means. Can you explain further then, how do we go back to being able to make sure that people can relate to what is it that we are trying to achieve, and how we can explain things easier to the people?
Thank you. I think this is where culture is important. My amazement with the Japanese is that although they grow from strength to strength technologically, their culture is still intact. Budaya Jepun itu masih kekal. Kadang-kadang budaya Jepun itu menjadi salah satu daripada inspirasi for the technology. I read a book, I don't know whether this book is right or not. During your time, maybe my time, we've got this, what we call the, Walkman? Walkman. Yeah? You don't have the Walkman now, I think your Walkman is into your ears. Our time was that. And the inspiration for the Walkman was basically, according to this book, is for them to meditate. At that time, if you go to any Japanese setup, there will be a small room for meditation. And meditation, macam semayang kita juga lah, is where they get their own internal strength again. And they will meditate. Right? But then, given the Japanese punya and beyond, when you go into the train, there are a lot of people, and there is no time for them to meditate. And they invent this Walkman so that they can keep themselves in a world of their own. Macam Pak Ungku kata, you build a world of your own in that Walkman, and then you can meditate. Doesn't matter what happens around you, you close your eyes and you are meditating in your own world. And that is a kind of an example where your own culture, your own spiritual needs are used by making technology serving for you. Yeah? And therefore, I think this element of culture is absolutely important. The miniaturization, the bonsai, if you look at it, these are technologically advanced but very culturally rooted. Yeah? My complaint about Malaysia is we've lost our culture. We've lost our culture. Tanya anak-anak muda ni, what is our culture is all about? Istilah budi, faham tak? Itu cultural roots kita tu. Istilah sejahtera yang dikata dalam pendidikan tu, faham tak? Selamat sejahtera, sejahtera Malaysia, Kedah sejahtera, Kementerian Sejahtera Bandar, and all of this, you know. You go to Kelantan, there's tanda sejahtera pun. Tell me what is sejahtera culturally? I don't think any of us can answer this. You lose your culture, you lose your roots, you lose your root, you lose identity, you lose your identity, you are a nobody. And therefore you are sold to the world. Pergi Jepun jadi Jepun, pergi Amerika jadi Amerika, pergi China jadi China, pergi wherever, because you are looking for something that you have lost. And therefore from the Japanese you learn this, that their culture is very, very important. You go to their restaurant, simple as it is, ada kain dua. Yeah? They don't need this kain if they talk about technology. Why do you need these two kain with whatever words on it? Why do they need it? They could put any something which is technologically very fancy. But no. They wear this kind of uniform still. Yeah? But they serve people. Kita tak ada lah. Kita pergi McDonald's lain dan punya American, kan? We lose our culture. And I think the answer to it, if you don't understand your culture, you cannot communicate with the people around you. So kita cakap tentang sustainable development. Ya? Perkataannya apa? Pembangunan lestari. Bila saya cakap dengan makcik, macam mana pembangunan lestari makcik? Makcik itu kata, makcik tak pakai listerin, makcik pakai khusus. Tapi kalau dia sejahtera lagi makcik, oh makcik cukup sejahtera lagi. Dia faham apa itu sejahtera. So understand this, when you go, you bring your culture with you, and that's begin with all the things that you are educated for. Doesn't mean when we're educated we suddenly become modernized and our culture become call out. Ya, orang kampung pun tak nak pergi, kampung pun kita dah benci. Kalau kita menang pun kita kata aku jaga kampung dia. As though kampung itu selekeh sangat. Ya, aku nak jadi global. Global is a village, man. You talk about global village, it's kampung, kan? So I think this is semangat yang particular ada, dan ini patut kita contohi daripada Jepun. Then you can communicate. That can sarung mean something to you, and all the things that you have got every day means a value to you. And I think that's what I think is it. I want to just make two more statements. Sorry if I can take it. Pertamanya, bila kita cakap teknologi tadi, if you go to Japan, they don't use your handphones in any public transport. Naik kereta api ke, naik bus ke, naik kapal terbang, apa lagi, yeah? They don't use that. Here in the first class lounge, talk about handphone, you support kuatnya. Because the ethics is not there, the etiquette is not there. And that's how they control technology. I've seen a young Japanese man telling an older Japanese man, don't use handphone on the train. Sampai begitu, because the ethics is so strong. We don't have those ethics, and therefore we think this handphone is anything, anywhere, any goes. Yeah? Second thing that I learned from the Japanese, they do things because they do things for others. Dia tepati masa kenapa? Kerana dia nak menyenangkan orang lain, bukan kerana diri dia. Because kata pukul 8, dan kita janji pukul 8 supaya orang tu datang, dan selesai kerja. Dia tak menunggu pula. Ya. Dia masuk dalam bilik air dia, sudah dia pakai sink tu, dia cuci, dia keringkan. Bukan dengan kahaknya macam kita, kahaknya dia gitu dia. Ya. Dia keringkan. Dia tanya why. Dia kata so the next person that use this becomes easy for them. Ini Islam. Islam mengajar kita menyenangkan orang lain. Rasul kata kalau jumpa apa ni, jumpa kemuncup apa, remove it, supaya orang mudah berjalan. Saya malah cakap pasal Islam ni, bukan saya bukan ustaz. Ni dah masuk UAE dia jadi lebay pula. That is Islam. And the Japanese is practicing Islamic value. And the Muslims are not practicing Islamic value. We work with the Japanese now, there is the halal. You go to another Japanese restaurant, the halal is one above us. Pinggan mangkuk dia semua halal. They differentiate between yang halal dengan tidak halal dengan ada tanda di bawahnya, and it's mechanically monitored. Kita pergi halal, masih pinggan mangkuk kita masih bercampur aduk. Dia dah boleh sampai begitu menggunakan teknologi. Why? It is all because of culture. So I want to plead with you. You go to these places, learn their culture, learn your culture also, and bring your culture there with you. Don't leave your culture behind as though it is not important. It is part and parcel of you, and it is part and parcel of education, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sri. And once again, back to Madam Shimozono. Question for you is on a very key topic that you are close to, which is socializing with the Japanese. You know, Ungku always says, like what Datuk Zul says, when you go abroad, don't stick to your own group, mix with other groups. And then you've also founded the Fukiage Malaysia Friendship Association back in 1998, and that continues to promote good relationships between Malaysia and Japan. Can you share with us some unforgettable experiences in your relationship with the Malaysians that you've had over the years?
はい、最後の質問となりますが、これは交流に関するものなんですけれども、下園さんは、今までマレーシア人との交流の中、みんなにシェアできるようなものがありましたら、ぜひ教えていただきたいと思います。はい。
すみません、たびたび涙ばかり流して申し訳ないです。シェアっていうか、私、先ほど司会者の方が言われましたように、7月にマハティール首相さんたちが福岡にいらっしゃった時に、運よくお会いすることができ、マハティールさんとお写真も撮ることもできました。その時に吹き上げに来てらっしゃる国際交流員の方と一緒に行ったんですけど、マハティールさんのお話を聞いてたら、やっぱり統合政策のこれをもう一回見直して日本に向けてっていうことを私ながらに聞いて理解したもんですから、できればその統合政策がまた大きくなって、日本に留学生が一人でもたくさんいらっしゃって、特に地方の鹿児島は素晴らしいところですから、東京、大阪を言わないで鹿児島に来たら都会で体験できないことがいっぱいありますから、人と人の交流、心と心の交流を私たち吹上町マレーシア交流実行委員会はモットーにしてます。ですから皆さん、ぜひ日本に留学して鹿児島に来てください。私は